right, deep divers. Big day in India, huh? Republic Day. And you know what else is a big deal?
Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto's visit.
You got it. And we're diving deep into the why today. Why this visit matters. Especially for you UPSC folks out there. This is key stuff for both mains and prelims, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. This isn't just like a routine diplomatic thing, this visit. It's a sign of something bigger, maybe, like a shift towards a much deeper strategic partnership, between these two big players, India and Indonesia.
It's true, right? Two nations with, let's be honest, big ambitions.
Yeah.
On the world stage, I mean. And they seem to be finding some common ground here.
Exactly.
So the Indian Express, they've been covering this visit like crazy. And, well, they're pointing to a real surge in diplomatic activity. Not just this visit, but especially during, both these leaders' second terms.
It's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. So what's the driving force behind all this sudden momentum?
Well, a lot of it, I think, starts with the foreign ministers.
Okay, yeah.
Strong relationship there. Jay Shankar and Marsudi, they really seem to get along well. And the timing, too. It's important. Both countries, they held the G20 presidency back-to-back.
Ooh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That shows you something. Strategic alignment. It's a desire to be, in the room where it happens, when global issues are being discussed,
Right. It's like they both want to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
The big table.
Exactly.
Okay, so i.e., they lay out this whole buffet of opportunities here for collaboration. I mean, we're talking BRICS, we're talking the Indo-Pacific, trilateral partnerships, all kinds of stuff. Let's break it down one by one. Starting with BRICS. So how does Indonesia getting into BRICS, how does that change things?
Well, it adds a new dynamic, to BRICS. Think of it like this. India and Indonesia, they can use this platform now to push for things they both care about, Shared interests. Of course, we can't ignore the fact that Indonesia has very deep economic ties with China.
Right. Of course, that's a reality.
Exactly. That's just the reality. But it doesn't mean that cooperating with India is impossible.
I see.
And Prabowo, he's been pretty clear. He's taking an independent stance. He's not just going to follow whatever Beijing says.
Okay. That independence thing is really interesting, especially when you look at the Indo-Pacific, right?
Right.
Because the IE points out that Indonesia seems to be getting more okay with the whole Indo-Pacific concept, and they're aligning more and more with India's Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, the IPOI. So is this just talk, or is there something real here?
I think there's real potential, especially when you look at the IPOI's maritime resources pillar. Imagine this. Imagine India and Indonesia working together on research projects on sustainable fishing, collaborative disaster management, right? For the whole region, this is where, Indo-Pacific actually turns into action, on the ground stuff.
And the IE they even suggest integrating the IPOI with ASEAN's outlook on the Indo-Pacific, the AOIP. I mean, that sounds pretty ambitious.
It is ambitious, yeah, but it's strategic too. And Indonesia is, well, they're crucial here. They played a huge role in, developing the AOIP, and they've already committed to that maritime resources pillar of the IPOI. So this creates an opportunity to bridge those two frameworks, and maybe even go further than just ASEAN, Prabowo, he talks about this ASEAN Plus vision. He wants to expand cooperation, include other key players in the region.
So we're talking about like expanding the circle, bringing more people in.
Exactly, expanding the circle of cooperation.
Speaking of expanding cooperation, the IE, they also talk about these trilateral partnerships. There's another way to work together. We've already got the Indonesia-Australia thing going on. Is there any chance we could see Japan get added to that mix?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And that raises another question. Could this be the beginning of something bigger, like a much stronger security and development partnership in the region? I think it has that potential.
Wow.
But we can't forget about the existing multilateral stuff either. We're talking about working more closely within those ASEAN-led groups, the East Asia Summit, the EAS, and the ASEAN Regional Forum, ARF. These are the places where, where regional security gets talked about. And India and Indonesia, they can work together there too, find common ground.
That's true. But I mean, collaboration, it's not always easy, is it? It's not always smooth sailing.
No, definitely not.
i.e., they specifically mentioned the China factor as a challenge here.
It's the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Indonesia relies on China economically a lot, and that will definitely affect their decisions.
Right.
But like we talked about, Prabowo, he's shown that he's willing to make his own decisions. So there's still room, room for cooperation with India that doesn't depend on China.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that could affect the relationship, the IE also mentions the recent change in Indonesia's foreign minister. How much of an impact? How much do you think that could have on on things moving forward?
It's definitely something to keep an eye on, for
Yeah.
sure. Building that strong connection between Jaishankar and the new foreign minister, whoever takes over from Retno Marsudi, that's going to be important.
Yeah.
Personal relationships, they matter in diplomacy,
That's true. That's true. Okay, wow. So much to think about here. This deep dive has been really insightful. I feel like I learned a lot, especially for our UPSC friends out there getting ready for those big exams. So the key takeaway, the India and Indonesia relationship, it's changing fast. Prabowo's visit, that was a sign, a clear sign. And the potential here, the potential for a deeper strategic partnership, it's huge. It's really huge.
Yeah, and this is where I want to leave you with something to think about. Okay. A question. How might this partnership, this evolving partnership, how might it affect the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific? Think about what it could mean for regional security, for economic cooperation, even for global influence. That's a big question.
That's a great question. Wow.
Yeah.
Lots to ponder. So, hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into all the important global stuff happening out there. And a huge thank you to the Indian Express, our source for today. We'll see you on the next one.